Ravi, thank you so much for, I know you're traveling, for being willing to talk to me about this fantastic new project we've got going called the One Universal Beat, the One UB Music Collection, which launches November 7th, Tuesday, presented by Dharma Diner, dharmadiner.com. And we've been working on this for quite a while, and I thought we would just chit chat about it. If people are like, what's up? What are you guys doing over there? So the first, you didn't want me to call this first piece a mantra. You wanted it to be called a Shabad, and the first one that we're launching is called the Miracle Shabad. And I wanted you to just talk a little bit about, I know a lot of people watching this are already familiar with mantras and Shabads, but from your perspective, why did you want it to be Shabad and not mantra?
So my perspective of the difference is that, so the Sikh gurus wrote their thoughts, like they shared their insight, their enlightenment through almost like song in a way. So everything they wrote was in a musical composition. And so things are written in prose, like in poem form in a way. And so we call that a Shabad. Like there's a Shabad that has a start and an end. And a mantra might take a part of that Shabad and repeat it over and over again. And in my mind, that's the difference. So a mantra might be something that you just recite over and over. It's maybe one line of that whole Shabad, of that whole poem.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you chose Shabad because it incorporates the entire piece or the entire selection.
The entire poem from start to finish. Yeah.
So the entire poem from start to finish is the full Shabad.
Right. And
okay. What? Go ahead. I'm sorry. You might have cut. You think you cut out a little bit, but what did you say?
So yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I think about the difference of. So if something is a mantra, it might be like Waheguru, 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 or it might be Ek Onkar Sadgur Prasad, Ek Onkar, and you know, maybe chant that over and over again. That would be a mantra, kind of a recitation of something. So the Shabad and the project that I'm excited about in this One Universal Beat project is that really taking the full Shabad of where maybe the mantra comes from, the seed comes from, and really exploring and listening to and understanding the full poem, the full stanza, the full paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wanted it to be Shabad.
Okay, I thought you were saying Shabad just like kind of to be cool. Like
well, that too.
Everybody calls it a mantra. We should call it a Shabad. Like nice, I like it. So okay, that helps. Thank you. That helps me. So you had mentioned that the One UB project that we're doing, and when you were talking about putting the Shabad together, you said, you know, there's not a lot of people doing what we're going to do, and it could be controversial, you know, like some traditional Sikhs or people who really study the Siddhi Guru Granth might go, oh, no, you got to keep the nad, the sound current pure. We don't want a transliteration or translation over the nad. But I have to tell you, okay, I have heard the piece myself, and there's actually 3 versions of the Shabad, or there's 3 versions. Oh, wait, before we get into the 3 versions, I'll write that down so I don't forget. But I wanted to say that it's really, what I like about this is that as I'm, for Dharma Diner, which has been a pet, my project lately, but which is based off of universal principles, truths, and laws that are non-denominational, that apply to everyone. I was like, you know, I love the Siddhi Guru Granth. I've been drawn to it my whole life, not my whole life, well, consciously in my 20s, and I fought it the entire way, like, no, because like my conscious mind didn't understand what the heck is this, like, this sounds weird, I wasn't raised like this, and so I seriously fought it. Like, it felt good and felt not good at the same time because I didn't understand. So what I love about what you're bringing to it is that there is a translation where my more conscious mind can say like, oh, this makes sense to me. So, and then it's like when I was listening to your Shabad, the full version of it, I was like, this is so healing for me because I can understand what it's saying, and I was letting the nod in at the sound current, the Shabad in at the same, the Gurmukhi, I guess you'd say, in at the same time, and I just like so appreciated that. And so I want to thank you for having the courage to do that. But do you have anything that you wanted to say from that perspective of like, were you nervous of bringing this forward? Like, oh, this could be controversial, like, or is it just like, who cares? People need the truth. Let's put the truth out there. I mean, because like Guru Nanak probably wasn't like, should I use this instrument or this instrument? And like, what will the community like more, you know?
Well, I think, you know, if you think about it, I just thought about this as you were talking, that when Guru Nanak was sharing his teachings, translate people in the language and yes, he was enlightened, and so we love hearing that vibrational frequency of his enlightenment in the cells of our body, and yet we don't have the benefit of understanding the actual language unless you really study and not only understand Punjabi, which is the modern language, because even the Siddhi Guru Granth is translated into Punjabi. For people who speak Punjabi, they still need to have a translation because it's more of an ancient language. So what I like about it now is if we have the translation along with the Shabad, we also can understand what he was saying. And yes, it is some human's translation. And that's where it can get a little bit like, well, I don't think Guru Nanak meant that. And that was someone's personal translation of what that meant. And so that's where it can get a little bit like, well, I don't know if I agree with that translation. And that's okay. You know, we all do our best. And even I was just talking to a friend the other day, and she was saying, when I hear any teachings from, you know, Christianity or Sikhism, it's always about this teaching is about me and what the capacity that I have to be, you know, to achieve. I have the capacity to achieve this. And so these are speaking to me. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I felt like, that instead of thinking this is someone else's version talking about something else, this is actually me and my soul talking to myself about what I'm capable of. So when this Shabad is that, you know, God has created you and exalted you and put you on the throne, I just turn that inward, that this is what I'm capable of doing. I'm capable of being exalted and being royalty and worthy of all of this. And so I love listening to it. I've had to, you know, yes, I've had to kind of like, oh my God, people are going to either really hate this because, you know, we've never done this before, or this could be something really transformational where part of your brain, and we all have this brain, and again, in our day and age with phones and social media, and our brains are so busy. And yes, meditation is about quieting them, but it's about like having something your brain can kind of grab onto and think about and focus on. And how does this relate? How does this relate to me? How can I get myself to this exalted space? And at the same time, you have the ancient texts of Gurmukhi in the background and in the foreground, you know, infusing in your mind and body. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to share this.
Yeah, you know, like for Dharma Diner, in conjunction with the Miracle, the One Universal Beat, the One UB music collection launching, we're launching, I was saying pound, but it's hashtag pound.
You're so old.
That's a really cool way to say it now. Pound. No, it's hashtag 120 mastery. And it's like, so, you know, they say it takes 40 days to break a habit, and then it takes 120 days to master something.
Okay, wait, so I think you cut up, so do it again.
Okay. So, well, I was, for Dharma Diner, in conjunction with the One UB music collection, we're launching what I was calling the Pound 120 Master daily program. And then I was like, no, wait, what? Oh, it's not pound, it's hashtag. hashtag. But it's like, oh man, I'm so not cool. But I think I'm so cool. It's so weird to realize that you're thinking you're cool, but you might not be. It's so humbling. So anyway, it's hashtag 120 master. And so then whatever piece you produce, the Shabad, that's what we'll be focusing on for 120 days. So it's hashtag 120 mastering miracles. And we have a whole outline, a 120-day outline where we'll post things every day. But in the world of Dharma Diner, the reason I bring this up is because the Shabad that you've created will be a part of that everyday check-in of the 120 days. And, this is a community of people. My passion is bringing universal truths and wisdom and laws that apply to everyone. So everyone feels like and knows that they have what they need for a good life. That's the core of Dharma Diner. And so I was like, well, this is a sacred Shabad. This is like from a particular religion. And how is this applicable? Like, how can we say that there's this religious text that anybody can use, right? And it will change their life. Because for me, and I want to talk about this, I really, Guru Nanak didn't want his teachings to be a religion anyway, but that's not really the angle I want to take. It's more that it's the sound current, the mantra itself is a vibration. It's like, it really boils down to being a vibration. And as I've been designing the 120-day outline for the hashtag 120 Master Miracles, it's so clear to me that you don't really need a Shabad. You don't really need a song. You don't really need a mantra to create miracles in your life. You don't really need it, but let me tell you, as you're working through manifesting and creating something in your life, the mind, when all the doubts and all the fears and all the insecurity and all these things come up, I've been listening to your Shabad, and while I'm doing it and realizing, oh, you know what? We as souls, as human, and our minds, we need something to sometimes hold a vibration for us that we can't yet hold ourselves when we're in this place of fear and doubt. And it's kind of, so I'm just wondering if that does that sound right or not right? But I was like, wow, this is really powerful. I can see why any mantra and Shabad is powerful for people, because man, I've been in the last few days and taking myself through this kind of outline of mastering miracles, in testing it, in looking at what I want to create myself. Yesterday, I was in so much anger and fear and doubt, and listening to the Shabad was just like, bang. It's like a vibration. It's like, it just kind of like shifted me out of that. And I don't want to say like, oh, the Shabad did all the work. But some people would say the Shabad does all the work. But I want to say it really, 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 really helped me, because it was like something I could grab onto.
Yeah, I think like you said it, I like how you said it. And I would add to that it just helps anchor the mind to focus on the Shabad in a way. And remember, we read that book about meditation by it was a professor in the East Coast somewhere, and he was talking about and just educating people about meditation, and that you should recite something every day, and that was part of the meditation. And he said, and really, really, it should be an ancient text. There's a whole point. There's a reason why these enlightened beings were on Earth and shared these these concepts and their teachings and their writings. And, just chanting peace, love, that's okay. But there is something about the ancient text. And it just validated for me too, like, yeah, there is something to me about listening to or chanting something that comes from an enlightened being. I love that. And yet,
I know, but I have to say though, but we're all enlightened. We all have the I
capacity.
think part of my mind was, we all have the capacity. So part of me was like, well, why do we, that's like the part of me that's like, we don't need the mantras or the shabats because we all have the capacity to do it without referring to, I guess it's about empowering, being selfish and empowering ourselves.
Okay, but what if you thought about it like food or water? Like, okay, I don't need whatever, but in a way, maybe you do. Maybe to have your soul feel just so full and beautiful is just to have these like snacks throughout the day, or, you know, I don't know, maybe, you know, you can say I don't need it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like in a way I do need it. Like in a way I do, maybe just like us to having that excitement.
Can you repeat that? Because you cut out just a little bit.
I don't know. It was so deep. I don't know if I can
channel.
I just think like in a way that maybe I do need it. Maybe there is a way that maybe there is a part of me that it is a part of my sustenance, my daily sustenance, to have this vibration in my life. Kind of like I have a beloved teacher who said to me once, I was at a class she was teaching, and she said, you know, here we are in the earth, and there's all this energy, vibration, the universe, God, whatever up here, and what mantra, chanting, singing, these ancient texts, it's what links the two. It's like the puzzle piece between heaven and earth. And so I also really love that concept that, you know, it just helps us feel connected.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, it is a tool. And like at Dharma Diner, I've been really working on like, what is the core messaging? What's the real why of Dharma Diner? And it's, you know, it's really a place for people to come that have all different kinds of paths. And it's not saying, you know, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't have to leave your path because you're not getting something that you're currently not getting. You just need an extra tool. You just need extra inspiration. So you don't always have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe people do sometimes, you know. But what I was saying at this other another Dharma Diner video was, take what works and leave the rest, you know. So like if it works and it feels good, take it, and if it doesn't, leave it. So and I love that. So
well, more about that as well. Like I think that people are so afraid of religion especially in the West, and I think because so much of people who are religious can be or are perceived as very fanatical, because, you know, what happens is that, I don't know, again, I'm not a scholar, and so, you know, whatever, but my personal experience of religion is that so much of the teachings that the little bit that I understand of religion, so much of the teachings are so similar, you know. Love one another, don't judge each other, come from a place of compassion, treat others as you would treat yourself. Like it's so simple and basic. And yet as time moves on, humans just take it and create boundaries and create structure and like, you know, this is what it means to, you know, and people rebel against that, and that's fine. And yet the whole baby bathwater thing, and yet the teachings and the text and the sacredness of it is also beautiful and powerful. And so, you know, that's what I hope people can really relate to, is just, you know, the kind of the tool, the technology of the intention behind those texts, behind the concepts, behind the teachings. And, you know.
Well, you and I think almost a year ago, we were going through our own personal processes. And for us, it came in trying to balance our concept of religion and our own inner truths. We were both looking at the word dharma, and the word dharma is a path of truth, and it's a person's path of truth. It's their relationship to the energy within themselves that's digesting what's true for themselves, well, in relation to some universal laws like cause and effect. You know, there are some universal laws within all of that, but it was really about I love what you're saying, because people are afraid of religion, because I think sometimes it can be disempowering, and it can sometimes not embrace a person's truth, and it's so painful. And it's so painful for people who, for anyone who loves their religion and loves their path, and a part of them doesn't belong or isn't accepted there, and that is very painful. Like you know, like anyway, I don't want to get, well, maybe I will, like, you know, like I have friends that are homosexual, and there are certain religions, there's a religion that they really love, and that religion doesn't agree with that concept, and that can feel so painful, but they love those teachings. Like,
Yeah.
they believe in every cell of their body those teachings. So I think when we were talking about path and dharma, I just felt it felt so freeing, and bringing in the concept of, and you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can love the tools, you can love the path, you can love the teachers, and you can still do what's true for you and live a good life and a healthy life and a spiritual life. And so the word dharma is like this, it's just really fun, because it's the collection of all these beautiful things that's honoring a person's truth. That's a noble truth.
Right.
It's like their highest truth.
Right.
I want to come to you and talk about the three versions of the Shabad, if you don't mind. There's one that, if you can start with there's one that's free, right? So if you could just tell me about
Sure.
that.
So the first one we're going to just give away is just a simple recitation. It's just a recitation of the Shabad from beginning to end, and it has the translation spoken over it. And again, I tried to have it so that the English word sort of matched as best as possible the Gurmukhi word. And so that's just the free version. It's just a one recitation. It's, you know, slightly musical, but, you know, not too much.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I've heard them all. And then the second one is the 11 recitation, right?
So then there's definitely like a technology of reciting something 11 times. Yogi Bhajan talked to us about that. And so I recorded it pretty quickly. It's just 11 times. If that was what you wanted to do, you were working on a specific shift in your life, you know, you're really just the word miracle, like where something just seems impossible and you really just want support to figure out a way through, then you might choose to do something 11 times. So I have a recitation 11 times. It does have the English on top of it, but I tried to do it so that the English is recorded like right in the center, and the Gurmukhi, the Shabad part, listening with earphones, you hear sides, and then the English translation is coming kind of right at you. And so you can either, if you know it in Gurmukhi, you can still recite it and chant it in Gurmukhi, but then you're also, your brain is kind of hearing the translation. So that's 11 times. It's about 11 minutes. Okay. So if someone was doing a meditation, they could use that if they wanted.
Oh, nice. And then the other full Shabad.
So that's more like when we sing in Gurdwara in our temples, we often do it like a song. So you would have a chorus and a verse, and the verse is usually kind of like this main part that they write about. Again, not being a scholar in any of this, just having my experience of singing kirtan since I was about 11 and growing up in India. So, but I just never studied it in that way. And so that was another part of me that was hard to put any of this forward, thinking, you know, what do I know? I don't know anything. I haven't studied any of it. But I just, again, so just from my experience. So in that track, it is like you start with the chorus, with the chorus, and then you go into some verses, back into the chorus, back into the verse, and then there's like a chant kind of towards the end of it, just a Guru Ram Das chant, and then an end. And I don't remember how long that track is, but
there's the free track, which is beautiful, and then the other two tracks are if a person wants to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And I just want to say pound #courage, because pound courage, #courage, because, you know, you as your friend, I saw your nervousness.
So you're cutting out.
Okay. How am I now?
What? Hashtag courage what?
Hashtag courage, because it really did take and does take a lot of courage for you to put this out there, not being a scholar, not knowing every detail, not having some pro $1 million recording studio. But you know what? I just want to say that is the coolest thing ever. As an artist, I have a theater degree. Hashtag theater. Really, just kidding, the hashtag. But it takes so much courage. So I'm just really happy that you're doing it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Just to remind people that this is just from my heart. It is definitely a DIY project. I have so many that I want to share. There's no way I can go into a studio and we just want to get this out there and share with people. So yeah, it was definitely terrifying not having any singing. I don't have any proper training in singing.
But it's hashtag keeping it real.
That's right.
So many people won't do something because they won't take imperfect action. If it's not like perfect, and like I know when I hear certain things that just have like soul and love in them, people don't care about perfection. They just want love and truth and the goodness in it. So thank you. And I just want to, so I think because we have to wrap up because of your time, and I just want to say, again, this launches on November 7th, Tuesday. We'll be putting some stuff on Facebook that people can go and grab this awesome first free version. And it's the beginning of the 1UB music collection. And if people want to know more about that, I'm going to put my email that I will then forward to Ravi about the 1UB music collection. Hey, do you want to say anything, Ravi, before we scoot?
You totally cut out, so say that last thing again.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say anything before we take off here?
No, I'm good. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm terrified. It's all great.
Yeah, but you have, so wait, what's the plan? So are you going to release one a month, or?
Say again? Sorry, you cut out again.
Are you going to release one shove it a month, or?
I don't know. I am almost ready with the next one. It's on healing, and the translation literally is like my physician is the guru, and then it goes from there. And he places the medicine in my mouth, the medicine of the Nam, of the guru's name, of God's name in my mouth. And so, that's a great one. If you're working on, getting rid of, just working on your own personal health. And so that's coming next. And like I said, I've just got so many ready to go.
Yeah, like I saw the spreadsheet of how many you have. It's like what, like 100-ish?
No, 50.
50. I know, okay. And I've already started working on the healing outline for the pound hashtag 120-day mastery healing.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Ravi. And thanks everybody. If you made it through this, if you watched the whole thing, put hashtag what, Rob? What's a good hashtag?
I'm not cool. I don't know. I can't figure out.
Hashtag miracle. Hashtag miracle. If you made it all the way through this, because that is a miracle. So hashtag miracle. And that's MIRACLE. I was spelling miracle wrong. I guess that's the first step in creating a miracle. You should know how to spell it. Maybe. Okay. I'll talk to you later, Ravi, and we'll see you all on November 7th. Bye.